Hey, I'm Willie Kelly. I'm here on the lovely coast of Maine. I wanted to tell you first off that I'm a musician and a music educator, and I've been playing for many, many years and performing. I've performed for big venues, little venues. I have a master's in music education, and I wanted to talk to you today about how easy it is to put on a house party. Granted, this may be somewhat self-serving because I'd love to play for you. If you're anywhere around here in the Northeast and the coast of Maine especially, when I grew up, it was like we'd have dances in high school. We would never think of getting a DJ, and I don't have anything necessarily against DJs. And I know that can be a lot of fun, but getting some live music going is it's a good way to spend a little time. Having music in our home is it's a very worthwhile idea. There's a quote that I want to share with you from 1749 from Lord Chesterfield, who regarded himself as an expert of etiquette, which I am not. But that said, I'll just tell you that he said, if you love music, hear it, go to operas, concerts, and pay fiddlers to play for you. And if you want, we'll bring a fiddler if we can find one. First of all, you need to find musicians that you know and that you love. You can start by, obviously, if you're go out to the bar scene, go out for a few evenings and have a drink or something, if that's what you do. Restaurants nowadays, lots of restaurants will have great local musicians. As you find musicians that are like-minded for you. And when you think about it, who doesn't want to be invited to a nice party and have a nice afternoon or a nice evening? I love to get a call, hey, would you like to come play at my house? We're going to have a little party, come play on the deck. Or, in the winter, we're coming in. You think you could come over and play for us? I mean, it just doesn't take much. And most musicians, especially local musicians, are often looking for gigs. I'd much rather play for someone's home. I play a lot of weddings and things too, granted, but I'd much rather play for some people who say, come over and be with us for a while. And, you play, you spend some time talking. It's a fun time for musicians as well as for the people that listen. Find musicians you like. Don't just, this is a big band, let's get those guys when you don't know anything about them. First off, let's be practical. If you want someone to come play in your living room and your living room is big enough to hold 25 people, then the group you get has got to be big enough to fit it against one of the walls or in one of the corners of your living room. If you've got a barn, now you're cooking. In the summer in Maine, I love playing in the barns. It's fun. So, if you've got a space where you can put a few people, now you're talking a band, Also, you want to be aware of how loud are we going to be. Some nights, I'm downsizing. I don't have a desire to play as loud as I used to, but I'll tell you what, some bands they are loud, and that's the way they play. I'm not saying that's bad. I'm not saying that's bad. I've been in some loud bands over time, but you want to just match what you're getting for music with where you are, okay? Also, with that space, say you figured out, no, I can set these people up in a space. Okay, you can set them up. Great. But they got to carry their equipment in, and maybe their equipment is heavy. Now, do they need equipment? Maybe if it's a really small space and you're getting 2 or 3 musicians, maybe they can just come in and play without even any microphones or speakers and stuff. But yeah, it's nice to be able to count off, and even a small little speaker set up and some microphones, they have to carry it in. So, make sure that there's a way for them to get where you want them to be. It seems so obvious, I know, but I'm just saying. I'm just saying that you want them to be able to get where they need to get. So I think the work you do ahead of time on a house concert is going to greatly improve your chances of having an excellent time. Some questions before the party. Does the band do requests? Do they know a song that you want them to play? You know, the oldest joke among musicians in the book is, you show up to a little restaurant with an acoustic guitar and a harmonica, and somebody yells from the back of the room, "Freebird!" It's it's just probably not going to happen. I'm not saying it won't happen. I've definitely done some stuff, and I know I have a lot of great musician friends, and they'll pull some stuff out. But be familiar with what you're going to want. See if they'll do a song. See if they mind, taking requests if they know it. Most musicians don't. I mean, what the hey, man? We're here to play. We're here to have fun. It's not a big deal. If someone says play something, I know it. I'd do it. I'd be glad to do it. Do the performers mind being photographed and videoed? Sometimes some people have issue with that. It'd be good to know ahead of time. For you, for your guests, and for your musicians. This is kind of a funny one, but do musicians or your guests have allergies? You're getting ready to have a great night and somebody comes in that's allergic to whatever, peanuts, and you make them something with a hidden peanut sauce, and the next thing you know, your guitar player's out of the floor, right? So that's just obvious too, right? A lot of this is obvious, but sometimes it's good to look at the obvious right up front. So what do the musicians need? Okay, a nice dark room is great for focusing on the music, but the truth is you need some lights to see your musician. I got my dog here. She's wondering who I'm talking to, I suppose. You need to be able to see who's playing. Okay, so you're going to want some lighting, at least for the musicians, right? You're going to, yeah. She loves to get in the video. Go on, honey, go sit down. Go on, Coke. Down. One. So, where was I? Lighting. You need some lighting, which means you're going to need some power for lights. You're going to need some lights. If you have a big enough space, even a small room, it's not outrageous to expect that the band may have a little, audio mixer and a couple small speakers or a tiny amp. A lot of my friends now are traveling also with tiny amps, okay? And they can use it, so they'll show up to play an electric guitar. It doesn't mean they're going to be loud necessarily, but it does mean they're going to need some power. So you need an extension cord right where the band is. You need, maybe a little outlet box would be nice, 5-6 plugins just to be sure. You're going to need maybe some furniture to put a speaker on. Probably not. Most musicians these days, they come prepared with a stand or they can set it on the floor. But these are things to find out ahead of time. A little table to set stuff on is nice. Enough space to set up, perform, good lighting, foolproof power. Don't set up an extension cord next to the door where everybody trips over it and halfway through your favorite song the lights go out and the music stops because the power is gone and someone's laying in the doorway now wrapped up in an extension cord. And it happens, so be aware of that. Furniture. Do you have this great solo player? Does he sit in a chair or does he use a stool? Does he stand? These things are part of what you need to look at, okay? What do your guests need? First of all, collect the money. Now, musicians, I left that out, didn't I? Musicians like money. And you know what? If you're going to get a great musician to come play, it's reasonable to expect them to have a little payment, You don't say to your plumber friend usually, hey, I know that you're working 5 days a week plumbing, but it's Saturday evening. Wouldn't you like to come to my house? I got a little project. How about you come and help me? right? I mean, that's not. I'm not saying if you have a plumber friend, he wouldn't come help you. He probably would, but it's just, it's taking advantage of a musician to think that you would ask them to put together a set and to come. They're working, even if they're having fun. Yes, playing music is a ball. It's fun. I'm so glad that I can play music, but you would expect to pay them. And I'll tell you what, if you have 15 or 20 or 25 guests, if they're making $15 a piece, you could probably afford a reasonable musician. So that means you got to collect the money. So when the guests come, rather, if you can get the money ahead of time, you get all the money for a band ahead of time, even better. Even better. But if you're going to collect it that day, when they come, when guests start arriving, have a money basket, and you can have a friend do it if you don't feel great about that. You get the money, you put it aside. Thank you. I'm not saying you just descend upon them. Where's the money? I'm just saying you be aware that you take care of that so that there's no lingering. Like, did so and so pay? What are we doing? Then, at that point, the money is out of the way. You tuck that away. You show them, where the washroom is. Show them here's where the food is. Presuming you're having a potluck, go put your food over there. Presuming they show up without food, there's the food table. The goal being, your guests are comfortable. Things are happening. They know where to go to take care of whatever they need to take care of to start where they can come in. You get them into where we're going to be playing, and the next thing is you want to let them know what's going on. Make an agenda. You can have a card when they come in. Give them a card. Hey, this is what's going to be happening when. You can have a little flyer up on the wall somewhere. You can have the family whiteboard or the bulletin board have something on it. Hey, if you need to know what the order of things are, go right over there and check it out. The idea is to give everybody a chance to feel comfortable. They know what's going on. They know what to expect. You got someone that comes and they're just a little crazier than the rest. Tell them, look, you got to be cool here. I'm sorry, that's my dog jumping around. You got to be cool. It's a concert. It's a house concert. This isn't some wild bar or something, right? And you need to behave, and your kids need to behave too. Just like you figured out the space for your musicians, you need to figure out the space for your guests. Does everyone have a place to sit? Can everyone see the music? Can everyone hear the music? Is everyone comfortable? Finally, I'm one. I get talking. You'll see it here. I get talking, and I want to, I get in a good conversation, and I may not notice that people are leaving, And I'm lucky I have a wonderful spouse who will kind of come to me, come on, we're going, time to leave, And I trust her in that because she's always right, So the reality is that it's nice maybe at the end you predetermine when is this thing going to be done. We've had a chance to talk to the musicians. We've had food. We're all good. Thank you, everyone, for coming, and we really hope you drive careful home and everyone will get the idea. It's done. It puts closure on it. It makes it nice. Finally, what do you need? Your guests have been welcomed. The band is taken care of. You've paid them, hopefully before the show. You have welcomed guests. The food is out. The guests have a place to be. The band is a place to be. You've put together this wonderful house concert. Things are proceeding along. It is now time that you can let go. It is okay. Have your friends help each other. We like to do that. People like to do that, contrary to what we hear in the news these days mostly. But, if you need it at 3 o'clock, have it at 3 o'clock. If you want it at 6 o'clock, have it at 6. People can have a party at noon. If you would like to have a lawn party, have a lawn party. The wind is whistling out there. You hear that? So make sure that you consider what you want. I think that's really important. And I think everybody will be happier if you do that. Finally, life is about experiences. And spending a few hours listening to great music and hanging out with friends and talking music with some good musicians, these are valid, real life experiences. Someone that has a nice little lawn or a nice patio or a nice barn, like I would say, I got a thing for barns, you know, there you have it. And if you're the one that starts a series of house concerts, you're going to be the go-to person. It's good when we can share our love of music. Again, I'm Willie Kelly. I'm here on the coast of Maine. I would love to hear from you. Drop me an email at my website, williekelly.com. Until next time, I'm just really glad you stopped by, and I hope to see you again. Thank you.